What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. Welcome back to another video. Now, in my last video, some people were like, hey, I think we need to mention CRO. I think we need to talk about what CRO is doing, as well as the price predictions that are out there. Because some people were seeing some price predictions that they were like, what's your opinion on where they have it, where they believe it's going to go, not only for 2026 or 2027 or anything, but even further, right? 2030, 2031, the next 5 years. What's your opinion on their opinion of where things are going? Because let's be honest, all of it, all of them are opinions, right? It's not saying it's 100% fact. It's not saying that this person that's putting their multiple cents into it, that they know exactly where this is going based on the analysis that they've done. Because analysis, right, as you look at the past, which we do that for the stock market, you look at the past, it dictates what the future will bring, right? We see that, we can understand based on maybe what the financial statements are and what products they're releasing and all that stuff. But when it comes to cryptocurrency, it's a whole different ballgame, right? We can't really apply the same things that we're looking at when it comes to technical analysis. Even though you want to follow the same structure, it's just so difficult to follow that same structure. It's just based on that structure. Those patterns are based on how people react to those patterns. So if people see a W formation, you see that bottom, that second bottom to the W, right? And you know that it's going to skyrocket. You know that it's going to increase. So the reaction would be, hey, I better buy in now, while it increases, creating that reaction that we wanted to see, right? So that's typically what we see here. However, cryptocurrency is different. So I'm going to take you through the prediction that was brought my way, my opinion on that prediction, as well as where I believe things are going as we move forward. So if you guys could, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell for more of these videos. Also, if you could check out some of the links down below, it does help out the channel. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Patreon, those links are in the description. Now, if you guys want to trade CRO, maybe do it at a leverage, you can trade that over on BTCC, which is a platform that I've been using for over a year. It is a fantastic platform. It allows you to trade all the way up to a 500x leverage. And if you specifically use my link, you will get up to, or you'll get a 10% deposit bonus on first-time deposits, up to $10,055 worth of extra bonuses, depending on milestones and thresholds and all that stuff that you hit. And also, if you guys want to continuously trade, you can get up to 40% lower trading fees. So feel free to check it out. Link will be at the top of the description for BTCC. Now, Cronos. Where do things stand for Cronos? So Cronos currently stands at about 16 cents. It's at 15.97 cents. It's up by 5.29%. So things are moving today, right? We're seeing some major movement. We're seeing the volume increase by a hefty amount. We're talking about over 200%, 247% to be more specific, of a volume increase over the last 24 hours. Yes, it is still only sitting at about $73 million, giving you a 1.26% volume to market cap ratio, because market cap is sitting at about a $6 billion level, while you're only seeing less than $100 million. We know for sure that CRO, Cronos, Crypto.com, they get their strength from the amount of people that are utilizing their platform, utilizing CRO, holding CRO for the long term, and gathering rewards for CRO. So it is a long-term hold, and the value comes from that, right? The holdability comes from that, right? So it's great to see that. Circulating supply at 36 billion, while the total supply is at 98 billion. Max supply 100 billion. So we definitely have some room to grow, some places to go here. But what I specifically wanted to talk about in this video is not necessarily just looking at the position. That's just giving you an update. It's looking at what the price predictions are. Now, I'm just going to show you, right? I'm not going to go into all the different detail that they have there, because it does get a little bit drawn out. But this comes from Cryptopolitan. Am I saying that right? Cronos price prediction for 2025. They have Cronos price prediction for a potential high of 24 cents. I guess they mean from where we are now, because the high for 2025 was definitely over 24 cents. They should have went with what the potential high was, what the actual high was, so that you can say, all right, well, the potential high could be a little bit higher than that. However, they're factoring in maybe a standard percentage growth as you see the years go on, but potential low is 22 cents, potential average is 23 cents, while the potential high is 24 cents. Now, again, we currently stand at about 16 cents, so we're nowhere near any of these levels. But we can see it move, we can see it run up to those levels very, very quickly, especially as we haven't seen altcoin season yet. Now, 2026 through 2031, it starts to get maybe a little bit more interesting, right? 2026, it says 33 cents to a maximum price of 39 cents. 2027, 48 cents to a maximum price of 58 cents. 2028, 68 cents to a maximum price of 82 cents. 2029, 99 cents to a maximum price of $1.21. 2030, $1.46 to a maximum price of $1.76. And then 2031, you would be looking at $2.13 to a maximum price of $2.58. Now, while I'm not mad at those numbers, getting to a $2.57 price, not mad at those numbers. I think that those numbers should happen a lot sooner than where we stand here, right? Because that would assume, right? And if we do see all that supply that gets released, that would assume that we are at a $257 billion market cap, which I am fully in belief that CRO can get to with the strength of crypto.com and all of that. I'm fully in belief of that. But throughout that time, you will see all of the supply released by 2031, meaning that we will be at that level. Unless we see future burns or, a decrease in the supply or holding of that supply, whatever, right? We don't know exactly what we're going to see. But I think the one thing that is wrong here, if you look through here, you're not seeing anything that speaks to what the crypto market is. The crypto market is speculative, right? It has its ups and downs, and we're not talking about just its ups like a slight bit, 20%. We're talking about ups as in like hundreds of percent versus downs being at 50% losses, right? For a bear market. They're not factoring in any potential bear market or even the altcoin season. They're factoring in a standard percentage that will keep them safe in what they predict. Because if it's better than $2.57, they're like, see, I told you it was at least going to get to $2.57. But if it gets there and when it gets there a lot sooner, they don't really look wrong. They just look like they underestimated things, which in my opinion is still being insanely wrong about your predictions, right? You're not giving people accurate information of what you actually believe is going to happen. You're just sticking with the status quo because it makes your paper, it makes your news source seem more legit because, Tesla hasn't moved that far. Or Amazon hasn't moved that far. Well, CRO is not an Amazon. CRO is CRO, and it will always be CRO, and it will never be compared to any business. It is a cryptocurrency, and we're going to be utilizing it in one specific business to then maybe branch out to others, but crypto.com will be the biggest part of that. So now, when it comes to me and understanding this, if I was looking at 2026, I would say this is where I would factor in more of that bullish momentum to say that $1 to $2 is fully possible to happen, right? And maybe even further than that, depending on how much supply gets released during that time frame. But maybe even further than that in prices where we could see that $2, $3, $4, or even $5 with how much is going into even just backing CRO government-wise, right? So 2026, as we look at this chart again, 2026 should see, a minimum price here of where we stand right now to what the maximum price is of what I believe it's going to be. Let's say that could be a $2 price point. Right? If you want to make it maybe a little bit more realistic, let's just say it gets to $1. But show the growth, show that we're gaining hundreds of percent from where we are now to where we'll be at the max point. Then you could start to factor in 2027 and say, 2027 we'll see a little bit of a decrease, right? Factor in the bear market as well as the bull market. Now, I don't think the bear market will be as substantial as what we've seen in the past, but it may drop It may drop down by 50%. So from that $2 mark, let's say, it drops down to about $1. right? That's the low level that it gets to. With the high level, seeing it a breakout could possibly reach that level of $2.30, right? Then you start to see it in a fuller bear market where it could hold at those levels of $1 or hold at those levels of $2, while 2026 looks a lot better. 2027 looks lower, potential chance for drop, and 2028 looks like an even further potential chance for drop. But then 2029, 2030, you can start seeing the uprise and push back up to $2, $3, $4, $5 or whatever, especially as we get more information on the supply and all of that stuff. So it's very difficult to predict exactly what cryptocurrency is going to do. And you want to know the reason why? Is because no one truly knows what's going to happen in the background, what's going to happen in front of our faces. No one knows. No one could have predicted that we would see what we saw with crypto.com. No one would have predicted that we see exactly what we're seeing with XRP or whatever, right? It's hard to predict that these things will happen. And if we do predict that they're going to happen, we also can't accurately predict the timeline of when that's going to happen. So these are my opinions, and I always stick to those opinions. I try and see them change as I see newer things that are in the news. But that's where I stand. I want to know where you guys stand on this. Do you see it getting to a $2.57 price by 2031? And do you see it holding below $1 for the next 3 years? Because that's basically what they're saying that we will have there. 2026, 2027, 2028, we will all be below that $1 mark, even into 2029 potentially. But if you guys could, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more of these videos. Also, make sure you check out any of the links down below. I'm going to get out of here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.